can you tell me what brought you in today?
Well, I just needed to come in and talk to someone. I've been having a lot of problems with my husband, my family, my husband Joe, and I have a hard time communicating. Can't seem to communicate with him. He doesn't he doesn't really listen to me. The kids pretty much do whatever they want. Have no communication at all. It's just stressing me out, and I just don't know what to do.
Okay. Yeah, it sounds like you have a lot going on. I can certainly understand why you would want to come here today, Evelyn. So from what I'm hearing is, from what you're saying is that you're having some communication problems with your husband Joe, and then also with the kids not listening. So it sounds like you're going through a lot of stress right now. Um, is that pretty accurate?
Yeah, I'm going through a lot of that. I just don't know what to do.
Okay. All right. So, Evelyn, from the things that you mentioned, communication problems with your husband and everything that's going on with your kids, um, what seems more pressing to you at the moment?
Being able to communicate with Joe, I feel that if we can communicate and be able to talk about things, we can come up with a plan. We can try to resolve some of these things, but without communicating with him, without being able to talk to him about anything, it just makes it so difficult.
Yeah, yeah, I can certainly understand how that would be difficult for you, Evelyn. So, would it be all right if we just focused on, the communication issues that you're having with your husband at this time?
Yeah.
And then we can address the other issues as our sessions come along, just so that we can address one at a time and we can give it the proper attention. Would that be okay?
That would be fine.
All right. Okay. So you mentioned that you're having some communication problems with your husband. Can you tell me a little bit more about what that seems to you?
It just seems like every time I come home, all he's doing is just sitting on that chair and either watching TV or playing video games. If I want to talk to him at all he says is, I don't have time right now, leave me alone, stop your nagging. So he doesn't want to talk about anything.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. So what you're saying is that he doesn't give you the attention that you need when you're trying to have a conversation with him.
Yeah, yeah, and I just don't really know how to talk to him. Don't know how to get his attention.
Okay. Okay. All right. Now, first of all, Evelyn, I really just want to acknowledge that the fact that you came in. It sounds like you are wanting to work on your marriage, and you're also concerned with your kids. You sound like you're on top of that as well, and you're taking care of your kids. So yeah, that's also great. I can understand how it would be um, stressful in that way. Um, Now, Evelyn, have you had a moment to sit down with your husband and express some of the issues that you're having?
No, I really haven't. I've just been so stressed out with everything going on, and I mean, I have to go to work. We have financial problems. There's just so many things, and I just feel like I'm drowning.
Okay. So you mentioned that you feel like you're drowning. Can you tell me a little bit more about that?
I just feel like with every problem that we're having, it just one after another, I just feel like I'm sinking, and I don't know how to help myself. I don't know how to help myself.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. I can understand how that would be stressful for you. Just wanting to get that communication across. Um, Now, Evelyn, on if you were to rate it on a scale of 1 to 10, one being Joe just doesn't communicate with you at all, doesn't want anything to do with whatever you want to say at the moment, and 10 being that he's willing and open to sit down with you and have a conversation. Where on that scale, where do you see yourself and Joe's communication status right now?
We're like at a 2 or a 3. We just don't communicate. We don't talk about anything. We just go by day without really communicating with each other.
And what does a two or three look like to you?
No communication at all. We we don't talk about anything. As long as I do everything that needs to be done and I don't bother him, that's where we're at.
Okay. And on that scale, where would you like to be?
I mean, I would rather be on a 10, but I think even being on an 8 would be very nice. Being able to talk about things.
Okay. And what does that 8 look like?
Just to be able to sit down and have a conversation with him and maybe come up with a plan and for him to realize that we need to talk about these things. We need to plan and see that this works better for both of us. I'm overwhelmed.
Right. Yeah. Yeah. I can see why that would overwhelm you, Evelyn. I would like to try something with you, if you're okay with that. Just a little exercise on, just to come up with some goals that you can work on, just to get you to where you want to be, and just to come up with some goals on how to work with some communication with your husband, and even everything that's going on around in your life. Are you open to that? Just coming up with some goals?
Yeah, that's fine.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and get started here. So if you're wanting to focus on initiating a conversation with your husband or whatever is going on in your life, what goals do you think you would like to accomplish?
I feel like just being able to relax.
Okay.
To be able to relax enough to even start a conversation.
Okay, so relaxing, that sounds like that would be something that would help with not just your well-being, but maybe if you're relaxed, you'll be able to have that conversation with Joe. Okay.
I think making a meal plan even would probably help with the responsibilities of the house.
Okay, so a meal plan. Okay, that's a good one as well. How about a chore chart? Have you thought of a chore chart where you can include your kids and Joe as well?
That would be a good idea. That would be something that I would be able to work with.
Okay, so a chore chart. All right, good. And what other things?
Well, with the way our relationship has been going, I feel like a divorce would even be one of my goals if it came down to something like that.
Okay, so divorce. Okay. All right. And what are some other ones, Evelyn?
Maybe sometimes I don't even feel like coming home. I don't know if that's a goal, but not coming home.
Yeah. Anything that you feel that is the goal. I'll go ahead and write that down. Okay. And let's do a few more, Evelyn. How about a family vacation, for example?
That would be nice.
Family vacation. Okay.
Yeah, if things got better, I mean, a family vacation would be great.
All right. So family vacation. All right.
Maybe even going on a date with Joe. I mean, just being able to spend some time with each other might help.
All right. So go on a date with Joe. All right. What other things? Let's come up with 3 more things.
Maybe if I can do something on my own, just have one thing that I do on my own, and
Okay. So just some alone time.
yes, to recharge.
Okay. All right. And a couple more here.
Well, most importantly, I think, is to be able to communicate with Joe. Just even having a way to communicate with him and a plan would be a great goal.
Okay. So communicate with Joe. All right. And then just one more.
I mean, if we had financial stable and we would be able to get a babysitter, even getting a babysitter so that I can get stuff done.
Okay, so getting a babysitter. Okay. All right. So we came up with 10 goals, 10 possible goals that are we that you may be able to um, work on. So let's start here with getting some time to relax. Do you think that's something that you can do?
I would like to work on that, yeah.
Okay, so relax would be one of them. So my goal here is out of your 10 goals that you have here, to just narrow it down to two goals that you feel that you are able to accomplish or work on. So we have the relax time. So meal plan and chore chart. Do you think that you'll have time to plan some of those?
Maybe not right now, but eventually I would like to.
Okay, all right. So we'll go ahead and take those out of the equation. And then you mentioned divorce and not coming home. What do you think about those?
Well, I hope that things can work out. I hope that we can work on things that and not have to go to that route.
Okay. Okay, and then the not coming home.
Again, I mean, I would like to come home. I would like to want to come home.
Yeah, of course. Now, we did have here family vacation. Um, I think that that's something that maybe could be worked on as in the future. I know that you mentioned there was some financial strain.
Yeah.
So let's go ahead and get rid of that one.
Okay.
And then going on a date with Joe. How do you feel about that one?
Maybe if I can focus on being able to communicate with him better first, maybe that can be something we can do down the line.
Okay, so communicate better. That would be the second thing that you want to work on.
Yeah.
Okay, all right. So let's go ahead and start with relaxing time. What do you do to relax?
Well, I used to read a lot. I loved reading. I don't really have the time to do it, or I just haven't really tried to, but reading, I like reading.
Okay, yeah, that sounds like it could be something that would be relaxing for you. Do you think that we can try to perhaps set aside 15 to 30 minutes, maybe 3 times a week, so that you can sit down and just read for a little bit? Do you think that's manageable?
Yeah, I can do that.
Okay, all right. And then what's something else that you enjoy?
I like taking a bath. I can't remember the last time I took a bath, but
Okay,
I really enjoy doing that.
all right. So do you think that you can also set up like one day out of the week where you can just take a relaxing bath?
Yeah, I can do that.
Yeah, I think that would help with your relaxing, especially if you enjoy it. That's for sure. Now, the second thing that you mentioned and that you really want to focus on is communicating better with Joe. What do you think would be a good start with that? Something that we could work on?
Um,
You did mention that you wanted to try and have a conversation with him. How about setting up a time with Joe by the end of the month, just to sit down and talk about whatever it is that you have on your mind?
I can do that.
Okay. All right. And what do you think would help to prepare you for that?
I think just maybe trying to come up with what I'm gonna say to him, maybe have a plan of what I'm gonna talk to him about. Um, yeah.
Okay. So do you think that you can write down just a couple of things, like 2 to 3 things that you would like to talk about with Joe, and then when we meet again next week, we can discuss those and talk about those and possibly prioritize them and see, you know, how that would look like, and that way we can brainstorm and see. You can have a game plan on, having that talk with Joe.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Well, now that we've set up those goals, you can have more of a starting point to get that to address that communication gap that you and Joe have.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Now, I want to just go back a little bit, Evelyn. At the beginning of our session, so you mentioned that on the one hand, you would like to work on your marriage and have better communication with Joe. But I did notice that on one of the goals, you mentioned divorce. So, on the one hand, I'm hearing that you want to work on your marriage, but then on the other hand, you're mentioning that um, divorce would be possible. Can you elaborate a little bit on that?
Well, sometimes it's just so stressful that I can't talk to him and that we can't communicate and things just are getting worse and worse. So I have thought about maybe getting a divorce, not having to worry about what he thinks, what he's gonna say, but just on the kids, just focusing on the kids. But I know that if we work to get a divorce, financially I can't take care of the kids by myself. And I know the kids would be really sad if their dad left, so I have that. I want to work on my marriage, but divorce is also a possibility.
Okay. Yeah, yeah. So, um, you're mentioning that you're wanting to work on your marriage, but there's times where it can get hard, and you think about divorce as a way out.
Yeah, I just feel so hopeless and sad sometimes that I don't know, I think of different outcomes of the situation.
Okay. Okay. And when you're feeling, as you mentioned, hopeless, um, what does that look like to you?
I just feel like there's no way out. Um, when I can't talk to him, I can't really ask him for help. I can't really tell him that I need him and I need his help. So it makes me feel like I have no hope. It's just me.
Okay. Okay. Now, I just want to share something with you. I mean, I may be wrong, um, but I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm not. I'm just throwing it out there. But what I'm hearing, it sounds like you're having some symptoms of, just some depressing um, tendencies. Now, I could be wrong again, so you can correct me if I'm wrong, but it's just a hunch. It sounds like, with you mentioning that you're feeling hopeless. Yeah, can you tell me a little bit more about that?
I've thought about it, I think. I think I might have some depression.
Okay.
I think that this might be a possibility.
Yeah, yeah, and I can understand how, you know, everything that's, like coming up with everything that's going on, how you can have those feelings. Um, what I wanna share with you, Evelyn, is I wanna I wanna send a book home with you. It's about depression. Again, just read over it, um, just so that you can have a better understanding on what it is about. There is some um, worksheets and evaluations on self-help. So what I want you to do is if you can take it home with you and perhaps just read one of the chapters, and then just work on one of the evaluations, just one of them, and then we can discuss it once you come back from for another session.
Okay.
All right, just so that you can be more educated on what depression is. Okay. All right. Now, I also wanted to um, I wanted to try something with you. So this is going to take some imagination on your part. I know it's out of the box, but just bear with me, if you will. So I want you to imagine, you going home tonight, right after the session. You go and you do your regular everyday chores, and you go to bed. While you're sleeping, a miracle happens regarding the communication, the communication that you do not have with your husband. So the communication issues. Um, how would you know? How would you know that a miracle had occurred? What would that look like?
To be able to wake up and be able to talk to him, to be able to have a conversation with him and actually have him listen and have him actually want to try to work things and have a conversation about a plan or just anything that would help be helpful for our relationship and time management for ourselves and the kids.
Okay. So, what I'm hearing is that you would want more cooperation from Joe. So, just to sit down with you so that you guys can come up with a plan on how to manage kids' activities and things like that.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that sounds like a reasonable thing to talk with Joe. Now, have you sat down with Joe and tried to come up with ways on how to time manage at all?
No, every time that I do try to talk to him, he's just sitting in that chair playing video games or watching TV and just doesn't listen to me.
Okay. Okay. All right. So, Evelyn, I would like to try something with you. It's yet again, it's going to take a little bit more or a little bit of your imagination. I want to try a role play exercise with you. I know that one of your goals is to sit down and have a conversation with Joe. So if we can just pretend that I'm Joe and you're yourself, of course, and come up with a conversation or a topic that you would like to discuss with him, and then I will be Joe and I will have the reaction that he would have. So you mentioned that he just sits and watches TV and then doesn't want to have anything to do with the conversation.
Yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna turn my chair here as if I was watching TV, and you're gonna be yourself. I'm gonna be Joe, and you're gonna try to have a conversation with me, and then we'll go from there. So you mentioned that Joe's behavior towards the conversation is a negative reaction.
Yeah, he usually just tells me he doesn't want to talk to me.
Okay. All right. So let's go ahead and start whenever you're ready. It'll just be a short role play here. Okay.
Joe, I really want to talk to you about some concerns I have, and I need your help.
I don't have time right now. I don't want to talk about it.
But we need to talk about it. I need you. I need a plan with you. I need help.
I've been at work all day. I don't know what you want me to tell you. I'm tired.
I'm tired too. I've been at work all day too. But we need to talk.
There's nothing to talk about. Like, what is it? There's no problem. What are you wanting to talk about? Is that how it usually goes?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I can understand how that could be frustrating for you. And we definitely want you to get to the point where you can have a conversation with Joe and express how you really feel, in regards to whatever's going on, so that you can have Joe's support.
Yeah.
Yeah. So at this moment, if you were to go home, do you think you can have that conversation with Joe?
No, not yet.
Not yet. Okay. And what do you think is missing? Not necessarily on your part, or what do you think needs to happen?
I don't know. I need to relax and be able to learn how to talk to him, learn to see how to approach him, and be able to have that conversation.
Okay. Okay. Yeah. Yeah, I can certainly understand that, Evelyn. So we are nearing the end of our session. However, I want to also, apart from you know, the book that you're going to take home, I really want you to give it give it a good attempt on writing down what you want to say to Joe. Okay, and that way when it does come time to have a conversation with Joe and you sit down with him, you can really express what you really want to say to him and what you guys really need to work on, so it could be helpful for you.
Okay.
Okay.
I can do that.
All right. Okay. So in this session, Evelyn, we have gone over just some goals that you have set for yourself, and we've narrowed it down to a couple goals that you feel that are manageable and you're able to work on. So with that being said, you know, I'm glad that you were able to make it here and talk about this. I know that it's a very hard decision and takes a lot of courage on your part.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I really want to thank you for being here, and also I want you to know that you are a full-time job. You know, you're a full-time mom, and you are a full-time job holder, and you're supporting financially. So, you know, those are great strengths to have. So you certainly don't want to ignore that. All right. So, yeah. With that being said, apart from everything that we've discussed and all the goals that we set for you, before we go, is there anything else that you want to discuss with me? Anything that you want to share?
No, my first time here, so I just kind of want to see how it goes.
Yeah, of course. And I mean, you've already taken the biggest step, which is to be here, and that takes a lot of courage. So you're on the right track. You're on the right path. So I'm very happy that you were able to make it here. So yeah, I look forward to our next session and then discussing everything that you've learned about yourself and with everything that you're bringing home with yourself as well. Okay. All right. So I'll go ahead and give you that book that you would need to read, and that way you can take a look at that. I'll get it on our way out.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Well, once again, it was very nice to see you. I will look forward to seeing you on our next session.
Okay.
All right.